might not look like it right now, but by next month, this greenhouse will be blooming and business could be booming. One grocery store in Fort Benton has managed to keep their shelves stacked. Independently owned tree lots like Herman's could be the last of their kind. After just 1 year under new ownership, you could say business is snowballing. Today I met with one Great Falls leaper who doesn't know a birthday any other way. Malmstrom Air Force Base normally celebrates Women's History Month with an all-female alert crew, but this year they're celebrating with an all-female flight crew that's taking flight right behind us. It's hard to believe with weather this mild, but 1 month ago, I wouldn't even be able to sit on this bench because floodwaters were this high in Choteau, Montana. Funerals are intended to celebrate a life lived and grieve a loved one lost. But due to restrictions on large public gatherings, funerals might have to hold off for the time being. It's been about a month since those protests took place, and those same event organizers decided it was time to reintroduce the topic and reopen a discussion that is far from over. Tonight, Jasmine Taylor and Cedriana Brownell are joined by community leaders to discuss the interactions between the BIPOC community and law enforcement within our own community in Great Falls. Tune in tonight at 10 for more information on those topics. Back to you in the studio, Matt. After 10 weeks and nearly 200 searchers spent looking, the case of Great Falls' own Amy Harding comes to a tragic end. On the night of January 26th, Cascade County Sheriff's Office responded to a disturbance call at the residence of Amy Harding Perman. Before she went missing more than 2 months ago, Harding was last seen walking from her house around 8:30 p.m. That night, deputies searched Buckshot Island, a region near her home, where they found personal items that led them to believe she was nearby.
This is where we found some items. We found a name tag. We found a coffee card.
Deputies also found a hole in the ice the next day that led them to focus their search efforts on the river. Sheriff Slaughter said they didn't disclose this to the public due to the nature of the case.
We treat all these cases as if they're criminal from the beginning. If we publicly release that we found a hole in the ice, if we're interviewing people and let's say that there was foul play involved, they're immediately going to point to the hole in the ice as the reason that she went missing. So I'm absolutely not going to release that for strategic reasons in our investigation.
Now that Harding's body has been found and her family has been notified, Sheriff Slaughter encourages the community to take the final step in the case.
I think now we need to pray for Amy's family, and her friends and her loved ones in this community, because quite honestly, a lot of people in this community mourned over this situation. So I think right now that's the appropriate thing, is that people grieve and go through their appropriate processes.
Sheriff Slaughter said the case is not considered criminal and the investigation is now closed. With hunger a persistent problem in Montana, donated cattle offer a solution.
The problem with people not having enough to eat in the state of Montana has just been growing and growing and growing over the years. And so in 2007, 2008, we started the program of Beef on Every Plate through the foundation. People donate beef to the foundation. We in turn have it processed into 1-pound hamburger packages and give it to food banks all over the state.
Statewide distribution is only possible when MCA has the donors and processors necessary to do so.
The processors are so backlogged that we're having a lot of problem trying to get the product processed.
And cattle donors are in short supply.
I just put out a 1,300 unit mailing to invite people to donate.
But with few donors and limited meat processors available to help, Montana Cattlemen's Foundation is worried there won't be beef on every plate. While cattle and processors are limited, funds for the foundation are not.
This year we applied for a food pantry grant, and they gave us a grant for $50,000 to help us supply beef to food banks.
They simply need the product and facilities to use those funds.
We have to wait for people to donate, and then we have to find a processor, because we can't really locate a processor until we have the donation, because we don't know where it's being donated. It could be anywhere in the state of Montana.
Even Great Falls. McDonald reached out to the Great Falls Community Food Bank to ask if they'd like to receive beef through the program and received a positive response.
We're really excited about this program because we don't get a whole lot of meat donated. We do get some during the hunter season, but we don't get a lot, so this could really be awesome for us.
And not a regulatory issue with the food bank.
As long as it's commercially processed by a processor that's been inspected by either the USDA or the state of Montana, then we can definitely take it.
With food banks and MCA officials eager to put beef on every plate, it's up to cattlemen and meat processors to step up to it.
There's a lot of people out there that need help. And if we have the ability to do it, we need to do it.
In Vaughan, Lindsie Hiatt, MTN News. Keith Eklund started out as a cook over 3 decades ago and has taken on many titles since.
I'm a lobby host. I come in at 8 o'clock in the morning before I sweep and mop the floors, clean the restrooms, and if they need somebody to do French fries, Keith, do French fries.
Keith's dad believes he's a man of many talents.
He does whatever the management has asked him to do. He's done pretty much all of the jobs here other than management.
Planting flowers, washing the pavement, preparing the fries, Keith does whatever's necessary to make Mickey D's the place to be.
As the McDonald's facility has changed, so has he.
And now he's ready to try something new.
I'm just retiring from this store and going to another one.
He's heading towards brighter golden arches.
They already told me I already have another job as a lobby host at McDonald's over there. There's a much bigger, lot more people coming in.
But he's going to miss the workers he's come to know and love.
Wonderful. These people are fabulous, good people to work for.
By giving him responsibility, they gave him the opportunity to improve.
I'm proud of him, let's just say that. Very, 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 very proud of him.
Keith is leaving some Ronald McDonald-sized shoes to fill.
They will miss me.
In Great Falls, Lindsie Hiatt, MTN News. Meet Winton and Juanita Rollins, a couple celebrating a 7-decade commitment to their love and each other. The Rollins met as teenagers, and for 70 years, they've been bound by something greater than themselves.
I think it's love. It has to be.
For Winton, it was love at first sight.
I didn't have any problem with it the first day we met.
But for Juanita, that was not the case. Juanita was only 14 when a friend introduced her to the man she'd marry. But after a few years, their love began to bloom.
Teased him a lot, and had a lot of fun together.
And at 17, she and Winton tied the knot. And they've walked through life hand in hand ever since.
She was right alongside with everything I did.
But it wasn't always easy.
It isn't always sunshine. There's some rainy periods.
In the span of 70 years, they've mourned the loss of 2 children, survived 2 heart surgeries, and enjoyed a lifetime of memories together.
Takes 2. Takes 2 people to make a marriage at the last.
A love like theirs requires give
Give a lot,
and take.
and you have to receive too. But I dearly love this guy.
For the kind of love that lasts a lifetime.
We do want more years. She said this morning, without you, she said we wouldn't have 70 years.
In Great Falls,
We done well.
Lindsie Hiatt, MTN News. Take a look at the show-stopping title holders of 2019. Just 1 year ago, the girls were given the opportunity to share their love of rodeo with the world.
It seemed like something that was important for me to be able to do and give back to the community.
And each other.
The Miss Teen, Miss Rodeo Montana, whole point of it is like a mentorship program. So I have had Kayla, and she has mentored me over the year.
Kayla and Rebecca taught each other the ropes. While Rebecca ranked first in rodeo, Kayla was best in show.
Kayla had a lot more of like the showing experience and all around life experience.
You know, when you're 15 years old, you know everything. When you're 25, you know a little bit more than you did a decade before.
And in just a year, the girls became closer than a horse and a saddle.
The rodeo world is a family, and the girls really take that to heart because we have something in common with every girl that is competing.
A real love of rodeo.
The equine industry and rodeo is what brings us together, and it's something we all love.
But at the end of the day, it's still a competition.
It's a big, long process. It's 4 days there. It's full of interviews, tests, horsemanship.
But a true rodeo queen knows when to rein in her emotions.
Keep your head up and smile no matter what happens. It'll be your turn someday.
That was the case for Kayla, and one day it might be for Rebecca too. So long as she remembers the royal creed.
Always be kind to everyone, learn how to talk to everyone. That's probably been the biggest thing from Kayla.
And when it's her time to take the throne, Kayla will be waiting in the wings, reminding her what it takes to be queen.
If you can make other people smile, if you can talk with anybody, that's pretty much a rodeo queen.
Kayla and Rebecca have passed their crowns on to this year's rodeo royalty, but you can learn more about the queens of 2019 and 60 others from Miss Rodeo Montana history on our website. This has been Lindsie Hiatt with your Montana Ag Report. Good morning, and as always, thank you for joining us. I'm Lindsie Hiatt with your Thursday morning weather forecast. Well, we're coming off a bit of snow. Tuesday night, we saw a little bit of snowfall, and there's going to be more in the forecast. So tonight, we're expecting a second wave of moisture to hit Montana. We have had a winter weather advisory in effect. That's going to expire this morning, and a winter storm warning is coming through. That's going to be in effect until 11 a.m. tomorrow. So at elevations 5,000 feet and above, we can expect snow between 6 and 24 inches, as well as fair to moderate winds at about 35 miles per hour in that purple region here. Here's a look at today's highs, sitting around lower 40s to upper 30s, so pretty mild temperatures. 41 in Great Falls, 42 in Helena. Going to be one of the last nicer days we see this week before temperatures take quite a dip next week. And here's a look at what we can expect from snow today. So starting off in the day with a fair amount of snowfall, which kind of tapers off a little bit as the day progresses. Really not an issue until Thursday night, when we expect that second wave of snow to come through, setting us up for some high snowfall Friday morning. Here's a look at tonight's lows. Pretty cold, sitting in the lower 20s, 21 in Great Falls, 26 in Helena. It's going to be a cool one that sets us up for that heavy snowfall coming through. And here's what we can expect on Friday for snow. So like I said, starting out at the morning with higher snowfall that really tapers off throughout the day, and we're really not going to have to worry a whole lot about snow as the day moves forward and into the weekend. And here's just a quick recap of what we can expect from snow over the next few days. So see here in these areas of purple and pink, that is where the snow is going to fall the heaviest. So really in the southern and western regions of Montana. But if you're up towards the blue regions, not a whole lot to worry about. So Helena, Great Falls, kind of on the outskirts of where that heavy snow is going to be falling. Tomorrow's highs, a little bit cooler than today, not a whole lot. 36 in Great Falls, 39 in Helena. So fairly mild before we kick into our weekend and experience those really cold temperatures next week as well. Here's a look at our 7-day forecast. So like I said, starting out the week fairly mild at 41 and then progressively getting colder. We're going to have a chance of precipitation on Saturday, and then temperatures are going to be a bit warmer. Monday, have another round of precipitation Tuesday, and then notice that dip in temperatures between Tuesday and Wednesday. Going to get very cold by mid next week. We're seeing that same trend play out in Helena, so starting out 42 with a chance of precipitation all through the weekend. And then Sunday, Monday, a little bit drier. By Tuesday, another round of precipitation coming through. And Wednesday is going to be quite a dip in the temperatures as well. That's all for your morning forecast.